Okay, everybody, today we're working on Scratch. We are going to go to our Scratch program. The first thing you're going to do is hit this Create button. And you always want to title your projects. So I'm going to title this Animated Name. And we are going to be working on animating our name today. So first things first, we're not going to be using this sprite, our cat sprite. And I'm going to take this little garbage can and delete it. Then I'm going to go to an Add Sprite button, and I'm going to choose my letters here because I'm animating my name. So I'm going to go to letters. I'm going to scroll through and pick which I think I like. My name's a little long, so today I'm going to animate Mr. What do you think? What do you think I'm going to animate? Mr. White, of course. So I'm just going to pick Mr. W to start. And once you've got your letters there, you can move them around in the order that you would like to have them. So here I'll have Mr. W. And then I'm going to start with the M. So you want to make sure that you've clicked on the M at the bottom, and then any code that you create here will be the code that runs the M. So the first thing I'm going to do is to start, I'm going to go to events, and it says when the green flag is clicked, and I'm always going to start my code with that. Okay, so I'm animating my name. I want to think about color and shape and movement. Now, the cool thing that I'm going to use here is for controls. I'm going to click and drag this forever tab over. And that means that when my name is animated, the code will just run and run and run and run. And that's what I want to have. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to looks. And I want to try and find something that's going to help animate the color. So let's pause the video here. Can you take a look and see if you find a code that will help animate the color? Okay, hopefully you found change the color. So I'm going to drag this over inside my Forever tab. And I think we can keep it at 25. If you'll notice here when you drop down the menu, you're going to see a whole bunch of other things. If you want to test what those other things are, you just hit the green flag and run. So fisheye is pretty cool. Whirl, that's super cool as well. So there's lots of fun things that you can check out. I'm going to be boring for right now and stick with color. And then the next thing I want to do is go to motion because I want to think about how my letter moves. So let's pause the video here. Can you see a code that will help to make the letter change its movement? So I'm going to go, we have a couple options here today, but I'm going to go with turn 15 degrees. And I can change that quality, 15 degrees. I can change that to something else, but for today I'm going to leave it at 15. I'm going to click the green flag and see what that looks like. I have the spinning M, and I like it. So I'm going to leave that here, and my M is done. So now I'm going to go on to R. And for R, I'm going to, of course, start the same way. I'm going to go to Events, and I'm going to click this button again to start, and I'm going to find that Forever tab again. And I'm going to pull that into my code. Now here, sometimes you don't want your code to just blur into one another. So it can be helpful to add some controls like time. Oh, and so I should be in controls, and I'm going to go to this wait a second tab and play around with that a little bit. So that even though my code is running over and over and over again, I can have a little bit of a break in my animation when it sort of pauses for a second and resets. So I want to change to, we're going to go to color or looks, and I'm going to change that color again. But instead of color this time, maybe I'm going to do that fisheye or that whirl. I like the whirl. Let's see what that looks like. And then I'm going to go again. I want to have a little bit of pause in there. And I'm going to have it whirl 25. And then I want to whirl back. So I'm going to go negative 25. And then I'm going to change my color again. So let's just see what that looks like. Nothing's really happening. I wonder why. So let's check some of my qualities. Let's see, what does that do? Okay, I don't mind that. It's not doing anything for color though, and I think it should. Ah, wait a second. So this should be whirl. So I want to change my whirl so it has the effect by 25 and then reverses by 25. So let's see if this does anything different. Oh, now it does a little shake and shimmy. Huh. I don't love that. So maybe I'm going to play around with mosaic instead. And what does that do? Interesting. Okay. So this gives me definitely something to work with. I don't love it, so I'm going to want to play around with this a little bit and then see what changes can be made. It looks a little glitchy. I'm going to try one more thing to see if it helps or not. So I'm going to go to, I think it's that look section, and I want to clear the graphic effect before the forever code. That didn't really seem to help either. Okay, this is definitely going to be something for me to fiddle around with, but I won't make you watch it. If you can find a way to debug my animation, please help. All right, for now, we're going to move on to W. I'm going to hit W, and we're going to go, hopefully you know by now, we're going to start right away at the events, finding that click on. This time I want to play around a little bit with some size and different graphics. I still want to play around with that forever code. Here I'm going to set the color, because I've been playing around with color. So I'm going to put that inside. I'm going to go with motion again and get it to turn that 15 degrees like I had before. And remember, you can change all of those qualities if you want. I'm going to have it go to control actually and weight that, I don't know, let's say to 0.02 seconds. And then I'm going to have it turn back the other way, 15 degrees. And I want it to kind of grow and then shrink. So let's see, if we go to this looks menu, can you find any code that's going to help it grow and then shrink? Let's pause the video and see what you find. Okay, hopefully you found this change by size. I'm going to drop that in there. So I'm going to change by size. I want it to pause for just a split second. So I'll go to that 0.02 and again, play around and tinker with those. And then I'm going to go back to looks and I'm going to change by size again. But let's see if we, this time I want it to shrink back. So I'm going to write -10. Let's see what this looks like so far. Oh, it's not connected. Whoops. So it's just shaking a little bit too. So let's see. I'm going to set size to 100%. So it always sort of resets. And clear that graphic effect for that forever. Does that change anything? Okay, let's try these settings. 20. Whoa. But I need it to go back by 20. There we go. So a little something going on there. So here I have some code. I don't love it. I'm going to keep tinkering and see what I can adjust, but hopefully you've got some ideas of some things that you might want to try. Have a lot of fun. The other thing that you can do that we haven't talked about yet is selecting a background for your animation and really tinkering around and exploring. Mr. White, I hope you like what I've started here, but I think we still have a lot of work to be done yet. All right, enjoy animating your names, everybody. Have fun.